Welcome to Mlc Tv News Hour, reaching you live from the city of Lokoja, the Confluence State of Nigeria. I am Fatima Yakub. The headlines: Buhari, SANWO-OLU, others extol SHONEKA'N's virtuous attributes night. KOGI state government swears in fifth children parliament. US President Joe Biden says ISIS leader blew himself up during an overnight raid. And Winter Olympics 2022 begins in Beijing amid COVID-19 fears. Now, the news in detail. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and other dignitaries on Thursday paid tribute to the late head of interim government, Chief Ernest Shonekan. The Secretary of the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, represented the President at the event held in Lagos. He said, Chief Shonekan was a man I respect so much because of his passion for the development of Nigeria. He was a patriot and the father of the nation. He knew that at the time he was beckoned to lead the country, no faint-hearted man would do that. No man will offer himself as a sacrificial lamb in the manner of Chief Shonekan. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide SANWO-OLU, said Shonekan demonstrated leadership in every facet of life. He said he was a respected industrialist, a first-class boardroom guru. He was in his early 40s when he rose to become the chairman of UAC. By this single date, he became a role model to many Nigerians. He laid the foundation of many things we enjoy today. Also, the Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, said Shonekan lived a life of humility. Baba's life and time are inspiring narratives of events and achievements. His transition has left a void, and it is the end of an era. He was a colossus whose feat will be difficult to replicate. His brother, Chief Tunji Shonekan, described the deceased as a peacemaker, a family man, and a core Egba man. Other dignitaries present at the event were the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, Minister of Mines and Steel, Olamileko Adebite, and former governors of Ogun State, Chief Segun Osoba and Ibikunle Amosun, among others. The KOGI State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development held swearing-in ceremony of the 5th inaugural ceremony of the KOGI State Children's Parliament. The event was attended by the governor, represented by his deputy, SSG, Speaker, House of Assembly, and other top government functionaries in the state. The 5th Children Parliament now has the Speaker in person of Amobeda Wisdom from Faith Academy and an indigene of Olamaboro, local government area of East Senatorial District, KOGI State. Our reporter has more.
The governor, represented by his deputy Edward Onoja, dissolved the 4th Children Parliament and inaugurated the 5th Parliament. The ceremony was held in Government House, Lokoja.
Sequel to the provision of Article 5, subsection 1, 2, and 3, and Article 9, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Nigeria Children's Parliament, I do hereby wish to proclaim that the 4th KOGI State Children's Parliament stands dissolved and the 5th KOGI State Children's Parliament be formally inaugurated today, being the 3rd of February 2022. I so proclaim.
The Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Fatima Kabir Buba, stressed the importance of children in any society, restating the government's determination in the protection of children's rights in the state.
Being the 5th inauguration of Children's Parliament in KOGI State is a great one. I will make sure henceforth the Children's Parliament is going to start working. The children are not going to leave every stone unturned. Why? Because our children-friendly governor will never allow that. So the sky is their limit. This is the starting point, and by the special grace of God, they will kickstart.
She appreciated the governor's support at all times and advised parents to train their wards in the way they should go.
Whatever treatment given to a child a consequence of your action might not be visible now, but somehow it lingers as it affects that child later in life or as the child grows. As abused, neglected, and maltreated, child will see life from a perspective different from a child who was trained in the right way and shown the better ways to handle life. This does not mean children cannot be stubborn, but there are better ways to train a child instead of inhuman treatment or molestation.
The representatives of the executive, legislative and judiciary advised the newly elected parliament members on uprightness both morally and socially.
To deliberate and adopt child-friendly recommendations and forward to relevant authorities for consideration. To receive reports from peers and deliver same to the relevant authorities through the Child Development Department, and lastly, to monitor issues involving child survival, development, protection, and participation.
And so I urge you all to avoid all kinds of sentiments. You know, we are all gathered here from 21 local governments in KOGI State. At times we speak different languages, but we should adopt a legislative languages that will bring unity among us. That is why the sentiment has to be seriously put aside.
Looking at all the happenings in the country today, we all know that our children are endangered with the social media. They are using it negatively. Please, all children, all school children who are here, the social media is a good tool. In as much as is a good tool, it can destroy you, it can mine you. I just want to urge you that whatever you see your colleagues doing that is not right, do not allow them to go into self-destruction. Speaking out does not mean that you hate them. Speaking out does not mean that you're putting them in trouble. Speaking out is that you are helping them to have a better future.
We pray that you not just bad gang, you be obedient, you be responsible, you obey constituted authority. Because you don't obey constituted authority, there are laws in place to handle those that are disobedient.
The Megiri of Lokoja, represented by the Meyaki of Lokoja, Aliu Lawal Jia, emphasized on the relevance of engaging the young ones. He called on the media to give the Children Parliament adequate publicity on their deliberations and policies.
It is a good opportunity to groom you to learn leadership responsibilities and how to execute them. And so pay attention to whatever assignment you have in the parliament and do the very best that you could ever do. Ensure there is discipline, there is transparency, and you will succeed. My last appeal is to the news media. Please, you give a lot of attention to the State Assembly. But we want to see what is happening at the Children's Parliament in the comfort of our homes.
The head of service, Anna Odio, and the Director General Public Defender Citizens Rights Commission, Barrister Abdullahi Zakari, in their goodwill messages, motivate the young parliamentarians.
I already know that our amiable governor, a lover of youth, children, women, and so on and so forth. He does not joke with matters like this. Now you know that our leaders that are there today, they don't have two heads. So it's also possible for you, if you make the most of this present opportunity and be committed to it, learn all you can. Who knows, tomorrow you may also find yourself in those positions to lead the nation.
No state in this country has this sufficient open space for children to test, to try, to learn leadership than in this state. As we speak, more than 16 states in this country have not yet a children's parliament in their states. This is tremendous. It is also important to know that the state too is ahead of other states. KOGI State is one of the first states of the Committee of States in this country in 2009 that passed the children's children's rights law. At that time, KOGI was number 12 on the list. And today, I will not stop there. Apart from the provisions of the child rights law that guarantees our children's chance to qualitative and compulsory education, the Ministry of Education in KOGI State is about the only state that has a law that guarantees children their right to education. This is not common anywhere. KOGI State is only one of the 6 states in north-central Nigeria. In Nigeria, that have a body that projects the interests of children, women, and the less privileged. It is also the only state in Nigeria that has an institution that ensures that the Chapter 2 of the 1999 Constitution, relating the rights of all of us, including children, their fundamental human rights is protected. And I think this is one too many of the demonstration of His Excellency's commitments towards the interests of children. This government is doing well. We continue to pray to government to do harder.
Organizer of the Children Parliament and parents also spoke.
The parliament that has gathered here today is not a program for only the privileged parents. The process is so transparently done. Schools were being given an emergency notice without preparation so that they don't take money children for us. They were given notice a day to the composition and election of the parliament. What we are looking for is, we don't want children that are being state managed for us, because House of Parliament is a place to argue and to demonstrate vitality, because you are representative of the people. Having done this, children were gathered for the first time without knowing each other. They were asked to talk to themselves, unprepared. And only God knows the magic they do. And within an hour, they got used to each other. And peradventure, we went into a serious aptitude test in order to eliminate those that were given to us and then have others that would constitute the parliament. And after that process, we do election. And peradventure, we have these elected officers.
Okay, my fellow advice to parents would be to encourage them to take up leadership roles at a tender age, because they say once they start at a tender age, it grooms them to becoming better individuals. It grooms them not only becoming better individuals in the society, but also being such individuals that will be able to handle situations when they come their way in the society.
The Secretary to the State Government, Folashade Ayoade, congratulated the newly elected members of Parliament and their parents. She commended the governor for his dedication to children's welfare in the state.
That are involved in cultism, drug addiction, prostitution, and the likes cannot be here representing the children of KOGI State, because you took your time to bring them up in a way that we can identify them and tell them to come and represent the other children in KOGI State. I congratulate you. And I want to say thank you to the governor for believing so much in the children of KOGI State.
The speaker was sworn in by the clerk of the parliamentary, and the speaker later sworn in members.
And that I will devote myself to serve and well-being of the people of the Nigerian nation and to all categories of children. So help me God. And bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The newly elected Speaker, Wisdom Amobedon, commended the process that led to his emergence. He promised to work with respective stakeholders to propagate the child rights law in the state.
Before this noble gathering today, that what transpired at the said venue of the election was my first experience about credible electoral process in Nigeria. The transparency with which it was conducted by facilitating NGO and sincerely on the part of electoral umpire, who gallantly told the part of His Excellency Alhaji Yahaya Adoza Bello, zero tolerance to tribalism, religiosity, and tribal sentiments. I must commend the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, and indeed our state resource person, ETC's Prince Sali Musa Yakubu, for the knowledge impacted on us during and after the election wishes, and also to my most loving mother, Miss Margaret Amobeda, and my late father, Mr. Gabriel Amobeda, who nurtured me from birth to adulthood. I wish that my late father is alive today to witness the fruit of his labor. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Furthermore, this address cannot be complete without a special thanks to the Executive Governor of Kogi State for your genuine commitment to the well-being of Kogi women, youth, and children. Fact that the Parliament cannot achieve its major mandate without proper logistics. Hence, I wish to appeal to the state government to, as a matter of importance, aid the Parliament with minibus and a monthly or quarterly subvention to enable it function effectively as one of the most viable parliaments among committees of states in Nigeria.
The governor, represented by his deputy Edward Onoja, stated its commitment to protecting children's rights in the state, called on the Children Parliament to execute their duties without fear or favor.
I'd like to encourage you to stay away from the following vices. Number 1, exam malpractices. Number 2, cultism and related activities. Number 4, drug, harmful use of substances. And we want to encourage you to always obey your parents.
Immediately, the Children Parliament held their first proceeding and sitting with motions raised.
I move the motion for the adoption. I so who's against the ayes have it. Honorable Isa Fatima, the floor is yours.
Khadijat Mohammed, reporting for Mlc TV.
The Borno State Governor, Babagana Zulum, has warned that the 13-year Boko Haram crisis in the northeast will be child's play compared to the terror that will be unleashed by the Islamic State of West African province if the government fails to wipe out the group early enough. This is as he once more appealed to the President, Muhammadu Buhari, to hire international missionaries to overcome the growing insurgents. ISWAP, which he said was more educated in building up forces in Borno State, exploited its proximity to the Sahel region. Zulum sounded the warning while addressing State House correspondents during the weekly ministerial briefing organized by the Presidential Communication Team at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. According to him, the growing number of ISWAP in some parts of Borno State is a cause for concern to many Nigerians, and allowing the terrorist group to fester would plunge the country into a security crisis. The governor called for the upgrading of the military strategy to stop the group from morphing into a greater monster. He also urged the president to re-engage external missionaries to support the military. On the victories achieved in the anti-terrorism war in the northeast, he said, all that he has said now would never be feasible without the support of the government. But notwithstanding all the federal government's contribution, we still have some challenges. The Nigerian army has re-strategized and defeat ISWAP. ISWAP will be a threat to the entire nation because of the proximity of sub-Saharan Africa. They are coming from Libya and others resettling here. He also thanked the president for giving him prompt audience whenever he had security issues to discuss, saying sometimes he's sick a meeting with him at very short notice while already in Abuja, and he'll still ask me to come over. This has helped tackle security challenges in Borno. The governor said he was relocating the internally displaced persons from the camps to either their ancestral homes or local government headquarters in a dignified manner because of the high rate of prostitution and gangsterism. He also lamented that criminality has become widespread in the IDP camps. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide SANWO-OLU, has pledged to take the lead in supporting orphans, children with special needs, the elderly, and other vulnerable groups in the state. The governor said this during the inauguration of the Social Welfare Integrated Program Initiative in Ikeja. He said, as a government, They are not going to give excuses, and he will personally take the lead and see that they double up their interventions through ministries of youth and social development, women affairs and poverty alleviation, and other ministries, departments and agencies to take care of orphans, children with special needs, the elders, the mentally challenged, and other vulnerable groups in the state to give them hope and make life meaningful for them. The wife of the governor, BEIJING SANWO-OLU, said social welfare was one of the single most important sectors that could deliver an improvement in standard of living of the most vulnerable in the society. Also, the chairman of SWIPI, Kolawole Ajayi, said the organization consists of 11 professionals from different walks of life who have an incredible love for children and are concerned about the social, economic, health, and welfare of vulnerable children, particularly those in orphanages. The NNPC Limited has commended Mohamed Bakindo, Secretary General Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, on the role he played in the formation of Declaration of Cooperation, DOC, between OPEC member countries and non-OPEC oil-producing countries. The NNPC gave the commendation when OPEC Secretary General hosted a walk-in lunch for a delegation from NNPC headed by Dr. Billy Okoye, Group Executive Director of Ventures and Business Development in Vienna, Austria. DOC was established in 2016 to accelerate the return of oil market stability following an oil market downturn. Okoye also commended Bakindo for his achievement as OPEC Secretary General for 2 successful terms. He noted that Bakindo had been an ambassador of the corporation in Nigeria. Responding, Bakindo highlighted Nigeria's key role in the global oil industry, emphasizing that, given the country's stature, it should continue to lead by example. He also praised the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, noting that the legal framework adopted in 2021 would help Nigeria to further develop the petroleum industry. On oil market developments, Bakindo praised the efforts undertaken by the DOC countries in the interest of oil market stability. Referencing OPEC's World Oil Outlook 2021, Bakindo noted that oil and gas will be accountable for more than 50% of the future energy mix, highlighting that oil undoubtedly would be needed to address energy demand in future. The meeting also addressed a number of important issues relevant to energy, including sustainable development, climate change, and the importance of investment in securing future supplies to meet energy demand. Announcement. This is to inform the prospective candidates who apply to Confluence University of Science and Technology, or SARA, that the admission exercise shall soon commence. Appropriate announcement shall be made in due course on when the exercise shall start at the university and what the candidates should do. Signed by Engineer Professor Salau Sadiku, Vice Chancellor, Confluence University of Science and Technology, or SARA. We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Mlc TV Online is here. For your timely and reliable news that reaches you fast with the breaking news, choose Mlc TV. Get human interest stories right here on Mlc TV. With entertainment, sports, business, culture, tourism, and fashion news stories all featured on Mlc TV. Not forgetting political and current affairs news, state and federal government and people's matters will be discussed regularly on Mlc TV. Mlc TV, your one-stop online destination for unbiased, accurate news, entrepreneur ideas, and youth matters to the rest of the world. MLC TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone.
Welcome back. Amid heavy security, the Maima Laboni-led Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the All Progressives Congress inaugurated state chairman at the party's national secretariat in Abuja. However, the party failed to inaugurate Haruna Danzago, the chairman of the Ibrahim Shekarau-led faction in Kano State, despite a court judgment. The party also did not inaugurate a chairman for its Sokoto State chapter. The state chairmen who emerged from the state congresses conducted last October were sworn in by Yobe State Governor Maima Laboni, who was represented by the APC National Secretary John Apanudo-Dehe. The inauguration was held despite parallel congresses in some states such as Oyo, Kwara, Delta, Osun, Akwa Ibom, Kano, Ogun State, among others, which had yet to amicably resolve their internal crisis. The inaugurated state chairmen are Kingsley Ononubu Abia, Ibrahim Bilal Adamawa, Augustine Ekanem Akwa Ibom, Basil Ejike Anambra, Babayo Misao Bauchi, Dennis Otiotio Bayelsa, Augustine Agada Benue, Ali Dalori Banu, and Alphonsus Eba Cross River. Others include Omeni Sabote Delta, Stanley Emeha Ebweni, David Imuse Edo, Omotosho Ayodele Ekiti, Ogochukwu Abala Enugu, Nite Amangal Gombe, McDonald Ebere Imo, Aminu Gumel Jigawa, Emmanuel Jakada Kaduna, Muhammad Sani Christina, Abubakar Kana Kebi, and Abdullahi Bello Kogi, Sunday Fabemi Kwara, Cornelius Ojelabi Lagos, John Mama Nasarawa Haliru Jikantoro Niger, Yemi Sanusi Ogun, Ade Timehi Ondo, Adeboyega Famodu Osun State, Isaac Omodeu Oyo, Rufus Bature Plateau, Emeka Beke Rivers, Ibrahim El Sudi Taraba, Mohammed Gadaka Yobe, Tukur Damfulani Zamfara, and Abdul Malik Usman FCT were also inaugurated. Names of the chairmen of both Sokoto and Kano State were not on the list of those inaugurated, and none of the factions in the two states were sworn in on Thursday. During the exercise, Apanudo-Dehe congratulated the new state APC leaders, saying he has been asked to issue them certificates of return as duly elected chairman of their states. Speaking on behalf of the chairman of APC State Chairman Forum, Bukar Dalori, expressed gratitude to the Boni-led National Caretaker Committee. According to brand new state chairman, Boni has led APC with an unimpeachable commitment to move the party forward and carry all members and leaders along. He said in the last few months, they have witnessed leadership fineness in the manner party affairs are conducted. There is no doubt that Your Excellency has brought your experience to bear in piloting the affairs of the great party. An APC party stalwart, Jimo Tori Orton, has congratulated the Kogi State APC chairman Abdullahi Bello on his successful inauguration at the APC National Secretariat in Abuja. Orton, while wishing the newly inaugurated chairman and members of his team a very successful tenure of office, further said that he had no outer of doubt that the chairman is equal to the task ahead of him, considering his antecedents. He said that Kogi APC is about the most organized and peaceful in the country today, not by accident, but due largely to the quality of leadership and governance the governor is providing in the state. He therefore advised Abdullahi and his team to sustain this by supporting the policies of the government of the state, ably led by Governor Yahya Bello. Speaking further, Orton enjoined the chairman to use his prestigious and powerful office to sell the presidential aspiration of the governor to his colleagues across the country. According to him, every APC member from the state and beyond should key into the presidential aspiration of the governor because he is the best person for the job at this critical moment in our nation's quest for prosperity and development. The APC stalwart stated that he was optimistic that APC as a party will be victorious in the next round of election in the state and the country at large. The police have arrested 33 suspected criminals, including members of the different kidnapping gangs terrorizing motorists and travelers on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The suspected kidnappers, who were arrested by men of the Oyo State Police Command, included those operating at the Onigari section of the expressway, where some wedding guests were recently abducted. The Commissioner of Police, Ngozi Onadeko, who briefed journalists on Thursday, gave the names of some of the suspects as Ali Umaru, Isiaka Ibrahim, and Tambaya Usman. The CP said, owing to the rising cases of kidnapping along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and the ugly incident of a case of kidnapping murder that happened at the Onigari section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on January 7, 2022, the Oyo State Police Command immediately swung into action through the swift deployment of intelligence and tactical assets. The CP added that members of another gang of kidnappers operating on the same road were also arrested by her men. She gave the names of the suspects as Tabaya Usman Shehu, 27, Ali Umaru, 20, and Isiaka Ibrahim, 28. Onadeko stated this in another kidnapping syndicate operating along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The proactive measures adopted by the command to flush out and abate kidnapping in the state and painstaking effort led to the arrest of one Ali Umaru and one Isiaka Ibrahim. The interrogation of the duo led to the arrest of Tambaya Usman Shehu at his hideout in the Akimbola area of Bodija, Ibadan, who also belongs to another syndicate of the kidnapping gang terrorizing the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And a foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden on Thursday said Abu Ibrahim al-Hashmi al-Qurayshi, leader of the violent Islamic State group ISIS, blew himself up during an overnight raid carried out by U.S. military forces in northwest Syria. Biden was grateful for the immense courage, skill and determination of U.S. forces who skillfully executed this incredibly challenging mission. Al-Qurayshi, also known as Haji Abdullah, took over as head of ISIS in 2019, days after the group's former leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi died during a U.S. raid in the same area. The president said al-Qurayshi oversaw the spread of ISIS-affiliated terrorist group around the world and was the driving force behind the genocide of Yazidis in the northwestern Iraq in 2014. Biden said that al-Qurayshi died just like al-Baghdadi by exploding a bomb that killed himself and members of his family, including women and children, as U.S. forces approached. The president said he had directed the Department of Defense to take every precaution possible to minimize civilian casualties. John and Malik is standing by for the sports updates.
And on sports update today, goalkeeper Gabaski was the hero, saving 2 penalties as Egypt edged past host Cameroon in a penalty shootout after a goalless draw to set up an African Cup of Nations final against Senegal. Sunday's final set up a tantalizing meeting between 2 Liverpool forwards, Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane, at the same venue, the Olembe Stadium in Cameroon's capital, Yaoundé. Host Cameroon had shown more impetus in 90 minutes, twice hitting the post through Michael Ngedu's looping header and Samuel Guet's thunderous long-range strike, which flicked the woodwork. Egypt starman Mohamed Salah was kept quiet for much of the game, calling a strike from outside the area narrowly over and almost profiting from a loose back pass, but he could not convert. But he did not have to step up in the shootout as Cameroon missed 3 of their efforts, with Gabaski saving from Holland Makwodi and James Lee Sleeky, while Clinton Inge side-footed wide. An ill-tempered ending to normal time had seen Egypt coach Carlos Queiroz sent off for remonstrating, which the referee and his assistant Willy Goma cautioned too. It means they will both be missing from the touchline for the finals, as Goma was also yellow-carded in the quarterfinals against Morocco. Meanwhile, Cameroon will face Burkina Faso in the 3rd place playoff, which had been brought forward to Sunday. A Winter Olympic overshadowed by rights concern and taking place inside a strict COVID-secure bubble will officially begin in Beijing on Friday with an opening ceremony at the BEIJING Stadium. The distinctive lattice ice-shaped arena took center stage at the 2008 Games, seen as China coming out party to the world, and will do so again as Beijing becomes the first city to host both a summer and winter Olympics. Friday's opening ceremony starts at 8 p.m. and will be attended by President Xi Jinping. Under whose rule, China has become much more belligerent proposition in global affairs compared to 14 years ago. Xi, who will announce the games are officially open, will be joined by other leaders including Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin, but the United States, Britain, Canada and Australia, among other countries, staging a diplomatic boycott over China's human rights record, particularly the fate of Muslim Uyghur majority in Xinjiang. Other countries cited the coronavirus pandemic for not sending officials. Their athletes will still compete at the Games, which run until February 20th. and not taking place inside a vast closed loop designed to thwart the virus. Some spectators will be present at the opening ceremony, but it is unclear how many, and like sports events at the game, tickets were not sold to the general public because of the pandemic. World Health Organization head Tedros Adhanom and United States Secretary General Antonio Guterres will be among leaders of global institutions at the ceremony. And that's sports update on MLC TV. I am Malik Jonah.
Thank you, Jonah, for the updates on sport. Let's go over to Matthias Ayodeji Peter for entertainment news.
On entertainment news today, congratulations are in order for Nnamdi Okafor, who has just been announced by entertainment company Sony Music as the new lead for the role of digital service and partner management operations, covering all of Africa. This exciting announcement was made public at the company's end of the year soiree, which was held at the African headquarters in Johannesburg, South Africa. Nnamdi joined Sony Music Entertainment in 2019 under the role of digital specialist covering West Africa. He was responsible for managing key digital accounts like Spotify, Apple Music, Boomplay, YouTube, TikTok, developing content strategies and managing CRM companies for local and international artists. Having demonstrated impressive tact and skillful deployment of creative strategies in handling brands and product companies, he had a much-needed edge to advance over a pool of candidates vying for the new position. In other 18 months of working with Sony Music, Nnamdi's contributions have been outstanding as they are valuable too. He has impacted significantly on growing verticals of the business, increasing their market shares, breaking multiple music talents globally into top-selling artists like Gyaki, Ruga, Loji, Mayoko, T-Classic, Davido, King Promise and Wizkid as well as contributing to international campaigns for Lil Nas X, Beyonce, Elevation Worship, Adele, BTS and Doja Cat, to mention but a few. He has worked very closely with DSPs and UGC partners to participate and manage the launch of several campaigns, including Apple Music Africans Now Radio for their flagship episode, which featured KDDO Kidominant Gyaki as a pioneer African cover star for Spotify Equal campaign, Ruga's Dior TikTok campaign, Boomplay for Your Ears Only, and YouTube Shorts launch. Expressing great delight over Nnamdi's promotional feat, General Manager for West Africa, Oluwaseun Lloyd, had this to say: "In every business today, you must have a thriving technology department. Here at Sony Music West Africa, our business is strictly digital, and we found a great candidate in Nnamdi Okafor to lead the digital department with his skills and passion. We wish him all the best in his new role as he takes us to greater heights." Still full of commendation for Nnamdi, Taponeswa Mawanga, who is the Director of Africa at Sony Music UK office and has worked with Nnamdi on numerous artist rollout and launch campaigns, said Nnamdi is hands-on executive and his reputation in the digital space is exemplary. He is also a genuine music man with incredible relationship across the board. Those qualities make him perfect for this new role, and I'm excited for this next chapter. Nnamdi was also presented with a Recognition Master Award by the MD of SMEA at the end of the year's South Africa event and has promised not to relent in his effort in delivering outstanding strides. Still on entertainment from Africa, Nigerian veteran singer Onyeka Onwenu has opened up about the difficulties she faced in her failed marriage. The music star made this known during a chat with Kike Lemo Atonda Owo on her show Real Talk with Kike. According to the septuagenarian, she tried her best to make her marriage work until she could no longer manage the situation. "I went through it, it was difficult because I really didn't want my marriage to end, but I could not take it anymore. It would have killed me. I always say, and that is the truth," she said. She also revealed that she single-handedly raised her children from nursery school till they bagged their master's degree. And it was not good for the children to live in that kind of environment where the mother is depressed. The mother is carrying the weight of the whole family. "I raised my children from kindergarten to master's degree," she added. Onwenu is Nigeria's singer, songwriter, actress, human rights activist, social activist, journalist, and politician. She recently released a book, My Father's Daughter, which highlights a successful music career. And that is all of entertainment news today. My name is Matthias Ayodeji Peter, reporting for Mlc TV.
Thanks for the update. That is today's news package. Do join us tomorrow via the same platform. For your event coverage, for news, sponsorship, and advert placement, call the numbers displayed on your screen or visit any of our social media handles to drop your comment for us. Like our Facebook page, Mlc Tv, Instagram, Mlc Tv 2021. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mlc TV. I am Fatima Yakub. Thanks for staying with us.